Tonight in Gainesville, we feature two unbeatens from the SEC East. Running back Derek Locke paces the high-powered Kentucky offense, which is second in the SEC in scoring. But Florida has won 23 straight in the series. And to make it 24, Urban Meyer's young team needs the dynamic Jeff Demps to lead the way. Welcome to the SEC on ESPN. And ESPNU's college football prime time presented by 5 Hour Energy. Tonight in Gainesville, a matchup of two undefeated teams, the 3-0 Kentucky Wildcats and the 9th-ranked Gators of Florida, also 3-0. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Swamp. Alongside my partner, former Idaho Vandal and NFL All-Pro Mark Schlereth, I'm Clay Matvick. A lot of folks think we could see an upset here tonight, in part because the Gators offense through the first 3 weeks has been very inconsistent. The one constant, Jeff Demps.
Jeff Demps is one of those classic athletes. He's a track guy. All kinds of speed to burn, but he's a great football player. One of those guys at 5'8" and 190 pounds that you couldn't or wouldn't think that could be a tough inside runner, but he can be that. He'll give you a mouthful of Rydell, and then he'll break a tackle and take it all the way to the house.
Here come the Gators. Their first SEC game in the Swamp this year. Their fans hope they're not looking past the Wildcats to the game in Tuscaloosa. The kick is next. 3-0 Kentucky, 3-0 Florida. Nearly 90,000 Gator fans ready to go. And Kentucky hasn't beaten Florida since 1986. For that streak to end, Mark, they've got to get the ball to their playmakers, Derek Locke and Randall Cobb.
Derek Locke, one of those running backs, all kinds of speed, not a gifted inside runner. So see him attack the perimeter, try to get him on the edge, take it to the house. And what can you say about Randall Cobb? He's one of the best football players in college football as we see it today. He'll run it today, he'll catch it today, he'll throw it today, he'll return the ball today. I like to call him a football playing Jesse, and he is all kinds of fun to watch.
The Wildcats offense, which will get the football first, they've done an excellent job protecting the football. For more, let's go down to Elizabeth Morrow.
Guys, thanks. When we talk about this improved Kentucky offense, we talk about no turnovers in 3 games. The only team in the SEC to go to score in the first quarter all 3 games. When I talked to Coach Phillips, he told me that this team has been keeping the ball off of the ground and that they have been keeping it close in the air away from their defenders. But as much as an improved offense, they are coming into the Swamp against a Florida defense that has forced 12 turnovers and 10 interceptions. Not going to be quite as easy for the Cats to throw the ball.
No question about it that the competition is ratcheting up this week for Joker Phillips Wildcats. And there is Urban Meyer. And he is hoping to reach a milestone here tonight at home. He's looking for his 100th career win tonight as a head coach, to go along with 2 SEC titles and 2 national titles.
And I guarantee you this, he doesn't care about number 100. What he cares about is number 1, and that's winning this game tonight, the first SEC game for Kentucky, the second one for Florida.
Florida won the toss, and they have deferred to the second half. Kentucky will start with the football. Place is going to get rowdy tonight.
90,000 strong. They haven't turned it over. Kentucky's offense. Well, wait till you hear this noise. That makes it tough to hold on to the football. When you can't hear the snap count, you don't know what's going on.
And we're underway in Gainesville. The kick from Caleb Sturgis is taken by Derek Locke. And he gets out to the 25-yard line. A 7-yard return for Locke. And that's where Kentucky will go to work on offense. There's Mark Hartline having a solid start to his senior season. He's 3rd in the SEC in passing. No interceptions. Skills won't overwhelm you, but he understands this Kentucky offense very well. Few mistakes compared to last year, as you can see. First play for Kentucky. Hartline from under center, turns and hands off. It's Locke. He's trying to take it wide on the far side. And it's a good run out over the 30-yard line. A pickup of 7 on first down. Duke Lemons in on the tackle. Well, the offense ranks 11th in the country, averaging over 44 points per game. Hartline has plenty of weapons. Of course, we talked about the diverse Randall Cobb. He'll do everything for you. And that offensive line is thin. All 5 starters tonight are first-year starters. The only guy with extensive experience is out, and that's Stuart Hines at left guard. He's got an ankle injury. On second down and short, almost intercepted. Tipped in the secondary by A.J. Jones, number 16. That Gator defense has stood tall while the offense works out some kinks. Number 6, Jay Howard. He'll be someone to watch, especially with Hines out on that line. With linebacking core, Jelani Jenkins, the SEC Freshman of the Week. And the Gators secondary is fantastic, especially Ahmad Black. He leads the SEC with 3 picks. Third down and 4. Cobb. He is going to be stopped short of the first down.
Well, there's the first one you're going to see of Randall Cobb. You'll see him all night tonight, running that wild Cobb, a little fake option, dive play there by Cobb. And the Florida Gators, they're ready for it up front, controlling the line of scrimmage and make the tackle for not much of a gain.
Ryan Tidlachka is on to punt for Kentucky. Janoris Jenkins back to return, standing at his own 23. It's a short kick. It was shanked off the foot of Tidlachka and goes out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So good field position for Florida on their first possession. John Brantley has a completion rate of 62% on the year. 452 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. There have been some growing pains, Mark, with Brantley in this offense in the post-Tebow era, but the bottom line is the Gators come into this one 3-0.
Yeah, they do, and they're working those kinks out. They have not scored in the first quarter this season yet. That's not Florida football. They're trying to rectify that tonight, get themselves into a rhythm, get themselves going offensively.
Brantley out of the gun on first down, rolling to his right, wants to throw, dumps it off short to Andre DeBose, and he's got enough for a first down and more. Out to midfield, Ridge Wilson makes the tackle, but it's a pickup of 14. And the Gators hoping to answer some more questions on offense tonight. Demps carried a career-high 26 times last week against Tennessee. We'll see what he does tonight. And that line is a work in progress. 4th different look in 4 games. Pouncey, the converted guard at center.
Yeah, and he is a great, great football player. One of the best offensive linemen in the country.
First down. Going up top, Brantley. Man falls down, no penalty flags intended for Frankie Hammond.
This is one of the things that Florida Gators want to be able to do is attack them deep. Although statistically, the Wildcats have been very good in the passing game. You look at them, they've been beat several times. They just haven't been able to complete. The opposing quarterback hasn't.
There's McDermott up front. He's a walk-on. Danny Trevathan out at weak side linebacker. He's being suspended for the first quarter. And strong safety Winston Guy leads that secondary. Here it is, second down and 10. Brantley coming to the near side again for DeBose. And he is stopped at the 43-yard line, a pickup of 8. Winston Guy makes the tackle. DeBose, a redshirt freshman out of Sanford, Florida. That's one thing that Florida is looking for tonight. Getting that receiving core to come around.
There's no question about that. And a lot of this offense is basic read offense. And what I mean by that, you're going to look for number counts in the box. That's 5 yards deep across the line of scrimmage from tackle to tackle. If you have favorable number counts in the box, you're going to run it. If you don't, you're going to see a lot of that bubble screen, a lot of that quick passing game. And that's where Brantley excels.
Just saw Steve Adazio, the 6th-year man in this program. 2nd year as offensive coordinator. Here it is, Jeff Demps. Inside the 30-yard line. Down at the 26, it's a 16-yard pickup for Demps, the fastest guy in college football.
There's no question about that. He's one of those guys that could be an Olympic-type runner, and you see the option on the end man line of scrimmage. That's all the quarterback is doing. He's reading the end man. If he closes on the fake handoff or on the handoff, what do? Pitch it outside to the fastest man in college football and let him churn those legs down the field.
103 yards per game. That's 4th in the SEC. Florida moving the football on their first possession. Brantley looks, throws. It is caught at the 12-yard line by Deontay Thompson. And he is out inside the 10 at the 6-yard line. Thompson, the Gators' top receiver, picks up 21, and it's first down and goal to go.
When you talk to the defensive coordinator of Kentucky, Steve Brown, he told us this week, listen, you can't miss tackles in this game. You miss tackles, and the athleticism of the Florida Gators, that's just going to be a touchdown. That is going to be a big play. Right here, you got to come up and make the stick. Athletically, you see the stiff arm, you gain an extra 3-4 yards after first contact.
There's Kentucky defensive coordinator Steve Brown. And the penalty flags come in. Our referee tonight is Steve Shaw.
Before the snap, false start, number 76 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's on Marcus Gilbert, who is starting at left tackle tonight. Last week it was right tackle. And we talked about some of the growing pains that this offense is going through, specifically up front.
Yeah, this is how difficult that is, to switch from one position to the next position. Do me a favor. Get a pencil and a piece of paper and write me a letter. But instead of using your right hand, switch to your left hand. And that's what they're asking these kids to do, flip it around from side to side.
Trey Burton, touchdown. Out of the Wildcat formation, an 11-yard touchdown run for the true freshman, Trey Burton.
Here you go, offensive, just quarterback counter out of the Wildcat right there. Burton reads it perfectly, gaining an extra blocker because you're not having the quarterback handoff. He's running the football, and results a touchdown by Burton.
Sturgis with the extra point. Third touchdown for Burton. He is Florida's answer to Randall Cobb. He does a bit of everything, too, for the Gators. And a great drive on their first possession.
Watching ESPN, new home of the Bowl Championship Series.
7-0 Florida. 6 plays, 64 yards in 2:27. But the most important thing for these Gators, it happened in the first quarter.
Yes, they've talked about, and they're tired of hearing about how they've struggled to score in the first quarter. And you look back to that scoring play, it was a thing of beauty. The quarterback counter. Unbelievable opportunity for Florida, an unbelievable first drive, punching it down the throats of this Kentucky Wildcat team.
They sense some relief in that man, too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? He's heard it just like everybody else has heard it. What's wrong with Florida's offense? Well, you know what's been wrong? Too many people at different positions, too much youth. They've gone back to the drawing board. They've gone back to work, and you saw the end result in that first drive.
Sturgis will pound this one into the end zone, and Derek Locke will say, nope, better not. And Kentucky will start at the 20-yard line. 4 different positions for Trey Burton on that first series, and he scores from the quarterback position.
Absolutely. The quarterback counter, you're going to see the down block, and then we're going to pull, kick out, and lead up. Now, the thing about this is the quarterback, he's not accounted for here. So everybody is basically going up the flow of the running backs, and you see you gain a man there on the onside, and it's just a gaping hole right up the middle.
Second series for Kentucky, 3 and out on their first. Deep handoff to Locke. Picks his way across the 20, and he's cut down at the 23-yard line. Jay Howard made the stop, the defensive tackle. And we're going to be talking a lot about him. Joker Phillips talked at length this week about worrying about that guy for Florida.
Well, he's a big, strong guy. He plays basically the weak side defensive tackle, kind of the 3 technique, and he will get after one of the first guys off the snap. Big, powerful man.
Hardline, a little play fake to Locke, comes underneath to Cobb. And he'll pick up a couple. Let's go to the studio, and Lowell Galindo will check in with you for the first time.
Clay, thank you so much. Georgia and Mississippi State both trying to avoid 0-3 starts to conference play. So far, so good for the Bulldogs. It's Vic Ballard, 13 yards and in. Mississippi State with that 7-0 lead. Clay.
All right, Lowell, thank you very much. Of course, the big news in the SEC tonight is Alabama able to come back and take care of Arkansas. Georgia at 0-2 on the year, hoping to not go to 0-3 in Starkville. Hardline, complete. Lerod King, he's got the first down and more. Knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line by Cody Riggs, but it's a gain of 19, and Kentucky moving the sticks for the first time.
And a great execution up front by this offensive line. What you saw was a crossfire blitz, perfect on the blitz pickup. See the linebackers here attacking opposite A-gaps. Look at the running back sift across the formation and pick up the backside backer, giving the quarterback a great opportunity to throw the crossing route right there. You can't execute blitz pickup any better than that.
Here's that wild Cobb formation. Randall Cobb at quarterback. He wants to throw. Has a receiver. It is caught. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, Chris Matthews with the catch. The veteran out of Los Angeles, California, makes the catch at the 32-yard line.
And here's the intelligence of Randall Cobb, a guy that came into this university playing quarterback. And what you saw right there is recognition of coverage. He saw the one-on-one the outside. He saw the mismatch. His receiver taller than the cornerback. And he basically just threw that up there and said, this is a jump ball for you, young man. And right there, a beautiful catch. I don't know, though. Let's look at that foot. Is it inbounds? Did the heel hit the line?
They're going to review this. This might be our best angle here.
Toe down. Ooh, hard to tell right there. Did that heel come in inbounds, or did it hit that end line?
It was ruled complete on the field, and when they go upstairs, there will have to be enough evidence to overturn the call on the field.
Yeah, and I don't know, from those 2 angles right there, I don't see enough evidence to overturn that call. But Chris Matthews, being 6'5", Randall Cobb understands that, and he just lofted this ball up to his tall receiver. Here's the toe in. Is the foot out? Is that conclusive? Boy, that angle looks like it touched, but it's hard to tell from there.
Chris Matthews, probably the X factor tonight, because Cobb and Locke are going to get so much attention. And Kentucky hoping that maybe Florida will forget about a guy like Chris Matthews, who has a lot of ability, as you can see.
Well, you saw right there. I mean, that's just man-to-man coverage out there. What you're saying essentially is we feel comfortable as the Florida Gators that we're athletic enough on the edge to lock you up, even though you're 6'5", 219. In a man-to-man situation, we'll take our chances.
After review, the player was out of bounds. It was incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the -44.
They found enough evidence upstairs to overturn that call. A big break for Florida.
Absolutely, and I think that last look we saw there showed that that heel just barely clipped that out-of-bounds line. So I think it's the right call.
Joker Phillips, his first SEC game tonight, the Franklin, Kentucky native, living the dream. Always wanted this job. He's got it now. He's got his hands full here in the swamp. 2nd down and 10 for Mike Hartline in this Kentucky offense. Now they're trying to figure out exactly where the ball is going to be placed. Hardline last week against Akron, completed 21 passes for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has not seen a defense like this yet this year. Here comes that Gators front again. Hartline underneath. complete. It's Matthews again. He'll get into Gator territory before he's tripped up by the defensive end. Duke Lemons getting back to make the tackle, but it's a pickup of 8, and it'll be 2 yards short of that first down.
It's nice execution offensively. You saw the blitz come off the edge, the corner in Cat coming down, getting a little blitz look. They just basically played the ball off of him, completed it to Matthews for a nice little gain.
I didn't know if Matthews would play tonight. He's got a strained thumb. Big third down here for Kentucky. Lock. No operating room, and Kentucky will be forced to punt again. There's Howard, already having a big first quarter.
It's just an 18 handoff stretch play right there to the outside edge. And talking to these coaches in Kentucky, they said the one thing that they're really concerned about with their offense is the ability to move the line of scrimmage in 3rd and 4th and short. And here you're going to see the wide handoff right there. And that's a different line of scrimmage created by the Florida Gators right there. You see them moving into that backfield, and that's the reason that play was unsuccessful.
And Florida defense held Tennessee to 29 yards on 23 carries last week. And so far doing a good job on Lock. This is scooped up. Janoris Jenkins plays it like a shortstop and gets it back to the 15-yard line. Well, John Brantley and the Florida offense look very good on their first possession. They'll come back out after this timeout. ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no 2:30 feeling later. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. And in part by the Capital One Cup. To learn more, go to CapitalOneCup.com. Last year in Lexington, Florida jumped out to a 31-0 lead in the first quarter. Good start here tonight at home for the Gators. There's John Brantley, 3 for 4 on that first series, 41 yards passing, and of course, it led to a touchdown.
Yes, it did. And when I talked to Tim Tebow this week, former Florida Gator, he talked about John Brantley and his accuracy in the short game, and you saw it on display right there. The bubble screen, the little stick route, and then the crossing route at about 10 to 12 yards. He executed it perfectly. John Brantley on target in the short game right now, and the Florida Gators moving the chains.
Urban Meyer making it public. He said Brantley needs to throw for a minimum of 200 yards for Florida to win games. Well, he's out to a good start. He's rolling to his right, wants to throw here on first down, and for the 3rd time tonight connects with Andre DeBose, the freshman receiver, this time a pickup of 7.
It's great execution on the outside and a bunch formation out there. They've got 3 receivers strong and just basically creating essentially pick routes, driving 2 guys in deep slants and running DeBose on a little out right there. John Brantley right on the money with the football.
2nd down and 3. Second possession tonight for Florida. Out of the gun, Brantley hands it off to Emmanuel Moody. He's into the secondary. Backs his way over the 40-yard line, down at the 42. The free safety, Michael Bailey, pulled him down, but not before he picks up 19 yards and a first down.
It's a play they ran in the first quarter earlier in their first drive. They didn't hand it off. This time you see the hesitation because they're playing the pitch, which they ran earlier in the game, and they hand it right up the middle to Moody. Very difficult when you're looking at this option game because what you do is you freeze the end man on the line of scrimmage, and he can't constrict the hole and make those tackles on the inside.
Was Moody's longest run of the year. Now Brantley wants to throw on first down, in and out of the hands of Thompson, who's covered pretty well in the secondary by Anthony Mosley, the cornerback.
Plenty of time there for John Brantley to throw the football. You see him hold on to the ball, and that's one of those situations where your receivers have to win right now.
Florida starting to get into a little rhythm. If you go back to that Tennessee game, they've scored on 7 of their last 8 possessions. Moody comes back into the backfield. And he'll take it. And he's hit in the backfield, dropped at the 38-yard line by Quay Huzzy. A loss of 2. Huzzy, the middle linebacker, who got the start tonight, redshirted last year because of a shoulder injury, and they really like that redshirt freshman.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see him right there actually cutting through the line of scrimmage, reading the play on the wide handoff, and essentially finding a little gap in the line of scrimmage to make that play in the backfield. Great read, recognition, and reaction to the run play.
Brantley over the middle, and it is caught. First down. Thompson still on his feet. Forced out of bounds at the 42 of Kentucky. Check that. That's Carl Moore. Number 9, Carl Moore, with a pickup of 17 yards. The fifth-year senior missed all of last year with back injuries, and they are happy to have him back.
Absolutely, and that's the second broken tackle of the night. And I know it's only been 3 or 4 extra yards, but eventually what happens to you, you miss another tackle, and those 3- and 4-yard gains become 30- and 40-yard big touchdown plays.
Brantley coming to the near side on first down, still looking downfield, cocks his arm and fires incomplete. Looking for more again, and good coverage by the linebacker.
And that's one of those plays, as a quarterback, I know he has experience, and I know he's been in Florida for a very long time, but anytime you run sprint action and you're running that to the left, you always hear this: don't ever throw it back over the middle of the field, because that's where mistakes happen. That's part of this learning curve. He is older, but he's still a young starting quarterback, and that's something that you just can't do. Either run it or throw it away.
Second down and 10 for Florida. 5:53 to go in the first quarter. Gators up 7-0. Inside handoff for Jeff Demps. And pile into the Kentucky defense. It's a gain of 3. Collins Ukwu, first-year starting defensive end. The 96 makes the tackle for Kentucky. Florida needing to get things right with this offense. They've got Alabama next week. So far, things appear to be clicking on all cylinders. Third down and 7. They are 2 for 2 tonight on third down conversion attempts. Brantley, penalty flag down, over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Deontay Thompson, the go-to guy in that Florida receiving corps.
Offsides, number 98 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
That's not going to make Joker happy. Penalties haven't been good for Kentucky this year. They're averaging 52 yards per game against them. That's 9th in the SEC.
That's one of those things that will just absolutely kill you as a coach when you have a stop and you give them another opportunity. And third down and 2, with the athleticism of this Florida Gators team, they can run anything. Their playbook is wide open here, and it makes it so difficult to defend.
Brantley will give it to Moody, and we'll see where they spot this football. It doesn't appear that he got it. Michael Bailey, the free safety, came up and helped get him down. And it's going to be 4th and about 1.5 yards. What do you do here if you're Urban Meyer?
You go for it. And this is one of those things, and he talks about it. This is a checkmate opportunity. What does that mean? It's an opportunity to seize momentum of this game and basically take control of this game. 4th down and 1, 4th down and 2. Let's go ahead and flex our muscles.
Brantley wants to throw out to the flat for Trey Burton. He's got the first down and more. Urban Meyer rolls the dice early, comes up, aces. It's a gain of 12.
And you got to love the coaching here. You got to love the chess match that goes on. He brings in an extra offensive lineman. He shows a heavy formation, big package, and you think it's Kentucky. 4th down and 2. We've got to come out there. We got to play stout in the middle. You fake the handoff, and you throw the little out pattern right there to Burton. That's just, I mean, that's pitch and catch. That's like stealing. It's too easy when you're that athletic.
Florida 7 for 10 now on 4th downs this year. Brantley throws. It's complete to Burton. He's inside the 20. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up. ESPN News coverage of college football concludes tonight in the SWAC conference. KJ Black leads Prairie View A&M against Frank Warren and Grambling State. College football primetime presented by McDonald's on the U tonight at 10:30 Eastern. Penalty flag down here as Florida comes up to the line for their 11th play of this drive.
And how do you get 11 plays in a drive? You convert on 3rd downs and you convert on 4th downs, and that's what Florida's been able to do in this drive.
Substitution infraction on the defense. 12 men in the formation. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And why does that happen to a football team? Because when you shuffle in all kinds of different personnel when you're the Florida Gators, you have matchup nightmares as the Kentucky defensive coordinator. So you're trying to second guess, you're trying to figure out who's in there, and that's how you get caught in those defensive substitution issues.
Second penalty against the Kentucky defense on this drive for Florida. 2nd down and 3. Brantley holds. He'll turn it up. He'll slide down close to the 10-yard line. Michael Bailey makes him pay the free safety. Picks up 3 yards, and it looks like a 1st down for Florida.
Well, therein lies the difference between Tim Tebow and John Brantley. Tim Tebow would have lowered his head and knocked somebody out. John Brantley decides to hook slide, and hey, you live a little bit longer if you're John Brantley when you hook slide. But that's a little bit of a different wrinkle with this Florida offense right now. Brantley's certainly not the runner that Tebow was.
Will play fake. Brantley, quick throw, guy wide open, and it's Trey Burton to the end zone. Touchdown. This time an 11-yard touchdown reception for Burton. We told you this guy is multifaceted too.
There is no question about that. He'll play multiple positions tonight. We've already seen him score on the quarterback keeper, the quarterback counter, and now you see him stick his foot in the ground and look at the pick routes. You're running basic double slants and just a quick out to Burton right there off the play action, and just athleticism and speed to the edge.
Burton, his first career touchdown reception. And Florida, who hadn't scored a point in 3 games in the first quarter, now has 14, and the first quarter isn't even up.
No, the first quarter isn't, and they are executing on offense.
14-0 Gators. Clay Matvick, Mark Schlereth, and Elizabeth Morrow here in Gainesville, where it's 14-0 Florida late in the first quarter. Burton now 13 touches on the year, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's a pretty good average, isn't it, right there? You may want to watch number 8. Maybe the secret is he's been number 13 all year long, so you switch him to number 8 and you lose sight of this guy. Note to Kentucky, number 8, he's the one scoring all the touchdowns.
Now, in trying to keep it away from Locke, Sturgis kicks it out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds against the kicking team. The ball would be put in play on the 40. 1st and 10.
Okay, here's something they've been running. Watch the fake here, and all you're doing is basically running a couple of pick routes up top. Then Burton is just going to run a flat. And the safety, who's in man coverage across the formation, he can't keep up with Burton. That's just a simple pitch and catch to the corner of the end zone right there.
Talk about Randall Cobb and do everything athlete that he is, but Burton has trumped him so far tonight. Hartline gives it to Locke, and he'll pick up a couple. Jay Howard has been busy wrapping up ball carriers. That's another tackle for the defensive tackle out of Apopka, Florida. Howard came to Florida as a defensive end, started at defensive end last week against Tennessee. I mean, this guy takes up a lot of space, but he is quick for 6'3", 302. Hardline on 2nd down and 8. Has time to throw over the middle. Batted down, incomplete. 3rd down coming up. Let's get an update on Georgia, Mississippi State. Lowell?
Yeah, Clay, it looked like Georgia was going to tie this one up. At least with Sean Healy thought that would be the case. He gets the rock, but at the 2-yard line, absolutely lit up. Loses the football, loses his lid, can't find the rock, and instead the Bulldogs recover in the end zone for the touchback.
All right, Lowell, thank you very much. Omar Hunter, the other defensive tackle, knocked that down. 3rd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Pressure coming from the corners. Complete for the 46-yard line. It's Cobb, but well short of the 1st down, and that punting unit's going to have to come out again.
Boy, what a missed opportunity there. The kick out of bounds. You get the ball in great field position on the 40-yard line. Your whole playbook's available to you, and you get a 3 and out.
Here's Ryan Tidlachka coming into the night, leading the SEC, averaging over 48 yards per punt. Has a chance to pin Florida deep. Janoris Jenkins is back deep. And there's a penalty flag down. Jenkins, the primary punt returner now for Florida, with Chris Rainey.
For the snap,
gone.
false start, number 14 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Penalty against Kentucky. Joker Phillips, Kentucky football through and through, former wide receiver with the Wildcats, a longtime assistant, helped build the program under Rich Brooks. Now the 1st-year head coach, Tidlachka, has time to get it away. Jenkins runs underneath it at the 18, puts on the brakes, and he'll be down at the 19. Good coverage by that Kentucky coverage team. A lot of people knew that John Brantley had big shoes to fill coming into this season, placing arguably the best player in college football history in Tim Tebow.
Right.
You had a chance to talk to him this week.
I did. I talked to Tim Tebow about John Brantley. He told me some really interesting things about John Brantley. He said, hey, listen, it's not about replacing me. You've been here. It's your time. You're good enough. You're a great quarterback. And essentially just released John Brantley and gave him the ability to go out there and be you. You're plenty good enough. You're a great player. Go out there and show the world.
And he wants to throw here, crossing route. DeBose again. Boy, he has been busy here in that 1st half as a 4th catch for Andre DeBose. And I think there are a lot of people around college football that don't envy that man.
Yeah, certainly not. I mean, it's tough to replace an icon. And I played in Denver with John Elway. And to replace the shoes of John Elway for a lot of quarterbacks, that's a tough thing to hear that comparison. And John Brantley is coming into this situation trying to replace an icon in Tim Tebow. But as I said, Tim Tebow said, this is your time. Just go out there, have fun, enjoy it, and make the most of this opportunity because you're a great football player. And I love the way Tim Tebow and John Brantley talk to one another. I love the relationship that they have with one another. And I love the encouragement given by Tim Tebow to take the reins, John Brantley, because this is your offense.
Demps got the edge and got just enough for the 1st down, a pickup of 3. Let's look at Brantley. 40 minutes south of Gainesville is Ocala, Florida. That's where he is from. That's where he grew up rooting for the Gators. Always hoped he would have this job. He's got it now, and he's got his team on top, 14-0 after 1 quarter of play. And this stadium recognizes the fact that the Gators looked a heck of a lot better out of the gate tonight than they have the past 3 weeks. We played 1 in Gainesville. Florida on top by a pair of touchdowns. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. Along with Mark Schlereth and Elizabeth Morrow on play. Mavic back here in Gainesville, 14-0. Florida on top, the number 9 team in the country. Had been a problem on offense through the first 3 games, 11th in the SEC in total offense. 317 yards per game. They had 155 total yards in that first quarter.
Yeah, they were orchestrating and they were getting it done. Everything. You talk about running the football efficiently, 54 yards, passing it 101 yards, 7.8 yards per play. They are hitting on all cylinders, as they say on offense.
First down and 10 from the 30, and this play will be whistled dead. Brantley 9 for 12, 101 and a touchdown in the first quarter.
Before the snap, false start, number 82 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's going to be against Omarius Hines, sophomore receiver, who was the talk of the town last week after that 36-yard run on that fake punt that Urban Meyer called in the Tennessee game. And at that point, the game was still in doubt in the third quarter.
Yes, it was. And that's one of those things as a coach you have a gut feeling for, and you've got confidence in your guys to execute it.
So first and 15, bad snap. Brantley recovers, looking downfield. He'll tuck and run to the 25, and he'll back his way out of bounds at the 27. That has been an issue between Mike Pouncey and John Brantley at times. They're still working diligently to get that squared away.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that's just going to take time. Here you see it. You've got a guy head up on you as a nose guard, and you want to get your hands on him as quickly as possible. And sometimes what you do is you short the ball, you get it out of there as quick as you can, and you see the inaccuracy there. And that's been an issue, but make no bones about it. This is one of the best players in all college football right here.
As was his brother Marquise last year, now a center with the Steelers. On 2nd and 14, in the air, coming back for it, landing incomplete. Burton can't haul it in. Ronnie Sneed, the middle linebacker, in on the coverage. Now, this was before the game. Mike Pouncey and Brantley spending some time working on snaps, both under center and in the shotgun.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that everybody focuses on and says, well, Mike Pouncey struggled a little bit in this game. And has he? Absolutely. But you look at him still, we tend to focus on the bad. This is one of the great players in all of college football, one of the great offensive linemen, and he's going to be a surefire first rounder in next year's draft.
Florida 2 for 3 on third down tonight, trying to convert on third and long, and Florida will have to punt. Good pressure there by Collins Ukwu, the defensive end. And for the first time tonight, we're going to see the Florida punting game.
That's just an effort sack right there. They've got a little game on the outside edge, and you just keep pushing right there. Keep pushing and keep fighting to the quarterback.
0 punt return yards in 20 of the last 24 games for Chaz Henry. And here's a fair catch called for by Randall Cobb. How about that?
And there's another 0 right there.
Mike Hartline and Kentucky looking for an answer. Back in the swamp. And it's been pretty murky waters so far for this Kentucky offense. Averaging less than 3 yards per play on first down. It seems like they've been chasing the sticks all night. They've had 3 drives, including a couple of 3-and-outs. They've had to punt 3 times.
And this is one of those things, and I know this is going to be overstated, but this is one of those drives, even if you don't score, you need to put a couple of first downs together and keep your defense off the field, get them a chance to get their breath.
Big drop for Hartline over the middle, has a man, and it's complete. It's Randall Cobb. And he's down across the 40-yard line to the 43. Cobb, his chemistry with Hartline is apparent, as Cobb used to be the quarterback of this team. In fact, took the job away from Hartline a couple of years ago when he was faltering, and now it's interesting how it's come full circle. Yeah, they sat in the same meeting rooms forever, looking at the same stuff, and they really are on the same page because of the time they spent together as quarterbacks. On first down, changing directions, it's Locke. Man, he ran a long way to take a 1-yard loss. Let's go down to Elizabeth, who has more on Randall Cobb.
Well, guys, yesterday when we asked Coach Meyer about Randall Cobb, he laughed. Remember that? He said, the first thing that comes to my mind, anger. I'm angry he's not on my side of the ball. Might not be the fastest or the strongest, but he plays smart, and he can play multiple roles, as you said. But Coach Meyer said he's the type of player that a coach wants a coach. He's going to tell you what to do, and you're going to do it.
He has scored a touchdown in 4 different ways this year: passing, running, catching, and a punt return for a score. He is up for the Paul Hornung Award this year. That's a new award. It's a diversity award, and certainly Randall Cobb is one of the most diverse offensive weapons in the country. Second down and long. Hartline dumps it off underneath to his checkoff back. It's Derek Locke. And he'll pick up a few yards. Down at the 46, Brandon Hicks makes the tackle after a 3-yard gain. Hicks is getting back from a broken thumb. He was a starter last year at weak side linebacker. And Florida is certainly much better defensively with him around. And now here's Kentucky again in a 3rd and tough situation.
3rd and long situations, and this is the thing you want to keep out of. Everybody talks about 3rd down being the deciding down. Well, let's see what you've got on 3rd down.
Hard line. Incomplete. LaRod King took a pop from Ahmad Black.
Got the crossing route right here. Look at Black. He reads it, he sees it, he plants his foot, and he just closes. That's about having athleticism, having speed, but also studying the game and understanding what they're trying to run against you with that crossing route.
Tidlodge get a punt for the 4th time. Jenkins is back. He'll call for the fair catch at the 10. Remember what they told us about Ahmad Black? He's a football player. I know you love that compliment.
Exactly. When you talk about a guy and you tell me he's a football player, it's the highest compliment that you can pay. Football player. You love that.
14-0. Florida leading Kentucky. 12-10 to go here in the first half. ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by the new 2011 Lexus IS Wheeled Precision. Pair of 3-0s meeting in the Swamp here tonight. It's 14-0 Florida as we remind you to join Lowell Galindo along with David Pollack and Charles Arbuckle for the BCS Countdown with in-depth analysis of the past weekend and a look ahead to Week 5 of the college football season already.
Isn't that unbelievable?
The BCS Countdown presented by Allstate on ESPNU HD Monday at 6 Eastern. There's Trey Burton, true freshman from Venice, Florida. Started at wide receiver last week against Tennessee. Scored a rushing touchdown in the 4th quarter. We've seen him score a rushing touchdown tonight already and a receiving touchdown.
Guys all over the field. Got to clone him.
Here's Florida on 1st down. They'll give it to Emmanuel Moody, and he'll pick up just 1 before Kentucky wraps him up. Burton is a big guy, too. 6'2", 222 pounds.
Offsides, number 94 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
As Kentucky picks up its 3rd penalty here of the half.
And again, you've got great field position. You've pushed them back to the 10-yard line. On 1st down, you stop them for a short gain. And what do? You give them 1st and 5. And Joker Phillips has got to be disgusted with his football team right now. Not being able to execute, not being able to use the mental capacity of the football game. And that's one of the issues you have with a young football team. You've got to be mentally tough and mentally smart, and those penalties are just not getting it done.
On the play fake, Brantley completes it out to the near sideline for Burton, and he's going to be close to the 1st down. He has really been the story tonight.
Now you're going to see him right up here in the wide receiver position in a little formation. He gets the pick right there. Then he's going to be down here at the quarterback. Look at the fake and the QB keep right there up the middle. How about the fullback position? Go ahead. We'll line you up there too. Runs a little flat out of the backfield and now comes into the tight end position, and he runs the out with the pick routes and scores another touchdown. This is one of those guys that's got to make your head spin if you're a Kentucky defender.
Last catch was his 4th. He's got 29 yards receiving and a touchdown. Just a yard short of that first down. They'll pick it up here. Caught at the 29-yard line by Deontay Thompson. That's an 11-yard grab. Thompson still is the go-to guy in this receiving core. And all but one of his catches this season have been first downs.
Right now they're attending to Pouncey, it looks like. He's down. The trainer's out there looking at him. And with all the transition on this offensive line, everybody playing different positions tonight, they can ill afford to lose one of the best offensive linemen in all college football.
We'll step aside as they attend to Mike Pouncey. Let's go to Lowell for an update.
Guys, thank you so much. Earlier in the day, there was also an injury scare for Denard Robinson. Left in the first quarter after rushing for 128 yards. Here you see his first touchdown of the ball game. Robinson says he could have come back into the game, but was never asked to. You see Michigan at Indiana, 3:30 next Saturday on the U.
He just turned his ankle right there.
All right, Lowell, thank you very much. Pouncey walking off under his own power. That's good news for Florida as Sam Roby comes in, number 50, the backup center. Brantley from under center on first down. Wants to throw, fires. It's tipped and intercepted by Kentucky. Ridge Wilson, the strong side linebacker, comes up with that deflected pass.
And exactly what Kentucky needs as a defense. Come up with a big play, get some momentum back on your side, get yourself back into this football game and get excited.
Just the second career interception for John Brantley, the first since 2008 in a game against Vanderbilt. Big opportunity here for Kentucky. It's their best field position tonight. Hartline to Locke. Finds some room. And tripped up from behind at the 25-yard line by Ahmad Black. And that might have been a touchdown-saving tackle.
That was a touchdown-saving tackle because you look at Locke, he's got all kinds of speed. And you're going to see great get-off right here. And that's a gap control issue for the Florida defense. The defensive end actually plays outside and creates that wide gap. And you saw Locke have the speed to take advantage of it. Nice run.
12-yard pickup. Flags.
Before the snap, false start, number 75 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's Brad Durham, the tackle. Let's go down to Elizabeth for an update on Mike Pouncey.
Well, guys, he did hobble off a little bit, jumped up on the table with some energy. His left ankle, it seems to be the bottom of his foot. He had it wrapped up on the outside of his shoe. He seems to be doing okay. No, faces saying that he's in pain, and he actually did jump off the table by himself. Looks like he's okay.
He's tough.
He's an old lineman. Of course he's tough.
Hard line, deep drop, throws. Intercepted at the 15-yard line. John Bostic. Tit for tat. Bostic, the middle linebacker, had a monster game last week against Tennessee, picks off Hartline.
Bostic picks it off, but the thing I love about this play is as soon as the interception occurs, the Florida defense becomes offensive. They're out there trying to hunt people up, knock people around, and create a return. It reminded me of the Baltimore Ravens. Look at guys picking dudes off, hitting people. Oh my goodness gracious, they're right down there. They know it. It's return time. Let's get a block. Let's spring our guy. Look at, right there, big hit by Jay Howard. Knocks the guy down. Oh, I gotta love that.
Hartline with his first turnover this season. He had 89 passes in a row without an interception until that pick by Bostic. And now a timeout called for on the field. First Kentucky turnover this year, and Urban Meyer has to be pleased with the way things are going so far. Cam Newton, Lowell, has looked pretty good his first year as the Auburn starter. One thing about South Carolina, they've started strong and then faded down the stretch.
Yeah, obviously, you know, you play in this SEC. It's a tough division. You're going to play a lot of divisional opponents, and you're going to wear down over the course of a season. Athletically, very gifted, but over time, this division's going to wear you out.
13th takeaway by the Florida defense gives it back to John Brantley and company, and it's a 1-yard pickup as Collins Ukwu makes the tackle. That was the 11th interception by this Florida defense. Of course, that leads the country. One thing to note, after all of the takeaways by the Florida defense, the offense has turned around and scored 8 times on the previous 12 takeaways, all touchdowns. So we'll see what happens here. 2nd down and 9. Looked like there was movement early in that Florida backfield.
Dead ball. False start on the entire offensive line. We had a late snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Really? I mean, you got to call the entire offensive line on a late snap? That's just disrespectful. That's exactly why offensive linemen are motivated out of fear and paranoia. That's why we're all neurotic right there. How can you call it on everybody? Pick a number, man.
Good to see Mike Pouncey back.
Oh man, that gets me riled right there. Disrespect the entire offensive line.
That was their 3rd Florida penalty tonight. All false starts. Out of the gun. Demps nowhere to go, and Ukwu has had a busy first half. Another tackle for the defensive end. Call that 3 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long for Florida, but 3rd downs this season, they've started to convert on a more consistent basis. Their number coming into the night, 41%. Real good last week. See the first couple of games struggle.
And that's all about getting your offensive rhythm back, understanding who you are.
On 3rd and 11, Brantley has time. Now rolls out a bit, throws it downfield and away over the head of Demps. And for the 2nd time tonight, Florida will have to punt, and another player slow to get up for the Gators. And this time, it's left guard Carl Johnson. 3rd-year starter, 5th-year senior out of Durham, North Carolina. We talked about the troubles with this offensive line for Florida as Steve Adazio, the offensive coordinator, tries to find the right fit on that front line. He can't afford to have guys going down.
No, you can't. They've had so many different lineups, and we talked to him about this. He was so passionate about his guys and trying to get his guys in solid positions. And we opened up this broadcast. We talked about how difficult it is from going right to left and left to right. And think about it like a baseball terminology. If you're a left-handed hitter and you hit left-handed, nothing but left-handed, and all of a sudden the coach asks you, hey, by the way, in this at-bat in the bottom of the 9th inning, we're down by 1 with the bases juiced. I want you to hit right-handed. I know you're not a right-handed hitter, but go ahead and do it. It's so difficult, and we don't give enough credit to these guys to be able to flip-flop and still produce offensively. And one of the reasons they've had offensive struggles throughout this season so far, very young in the season, it's because of the flip-flopping of their offensive line. They're trying to get this squared away.
They rolled up on Johnson a little bit. But like Mike Pouncey, he went off on his own power. 4th and 11, they'll punt. We'll see if there are any return yards here. Cobb has to back up to the 16-yard line. Good coverage. He gets to the outside. Finds some room to the 35 and down at the 37-yard line. Kentucky hoping to build on the momentum after the punt return by Randall Cobb. 60-yard punt, 21-yard return. Under 8 minutes to go here in the opening half in the Swamp. 14-0 Gators. College football primetime presented by 5-Hour Energy. Mike Hartline and the Kentucky offense so good through the first 3 games in non-conference play, but tonight 4 punts and an interception. We'll see what they do here on the 5th possession of the first half.
Well, that's the kind of offense that puts your defense in a position to get blown out. When you have that kind of lack of production on the offensive side of the ball, your defense can't help but get worn out, and those points start piling up in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Locke puts his head down as he crosses the 40-yard line, dives down to the 42. Pickup of 5 as he collides with number 10, Will Hill, the free safety.
Love that little fullback counter. Get the fullback out there on the lead and just absolutely knock somebody out. Allen.
And Monsell Allen, I didn't know if he'd play tonight. He injured his hamstring last week. But the fullback is in the game now for Kentucky. 2nd down and 5. Throws it to the outside. It's complete. That's Larod King. He's going to be short of the first down by a couple of yards as Jeremy Brown wraps him up after a gain of 3. Hartline missed the entire second half of last season with a knee injury. And his numbers real good in those first 3 weeks of the season. A lot of people in that Kentucky program happy to see him having a good year in his final year with Kentucky. A big 3rd down. Locke got the first down. That is the 2nd time tonight only they've been able to convert on 3rd down.
Yeah, and you saw them go back to the run, but this time they stayed out of the middle of the field, and their coaches told us, hey, listen, up front, we're not strong enough to move people off the ball, so we have to attack the running game on the edges, on the perimeter. You saw the wide handoff there on 3rd down and 2 for the conversion.
Hard line. They get it to Matthews. And Riggs was all over him. Cody Riggs spends a lot of time on special teams. Another true freshman for the Gators. He's a native of Fort Lauderdale, went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School, which is a high school football power. 41% of the players last week in that Tennessee game were freshmen for Florida. That's how young the Gators are. Yet very talented. They just seem to reload here in Gainesville. There's that crowd again on 2nd down and 10. Picked off. This could be 6. Jeremy Brown. His 3rd interception of the year, and this one comes all the way back. A 53-yard interception return for a touchdown. And it's 21-0 Gators.
And that's all about understanding what they're trying to do to you, squatting on a route. Look at him right here. He's reading it, squats on it, breaks, and that is to the house.
I'm Lo Galindo. Coming up at the half, Alabama's young secondary grows up when the Tide needed the most against Arkansas. South Carolina coming back to get an early edge against Auburn, and a shootout in the state of Texas, but only UCLA brings their revolver. It's all coming up at the half.
All right, Lowell, we'll see you at the half. Meanwhile, here in Gainesville, the Gators enjoying a 21-0 lead. There's Jeremy Brown. He just got his 3rd interception of the year, his first return for a touchdown. 3rd time this season that the Gators have taken one back for 6. That secondary is amazing.
Yeah, it is. You look at this secondary, so fast. And they're just pressing people. Man coverage, they're not afraid.
Derek Locke on the return. Out over the 25 to the 29. And Hartline didn't have any interceptions coming into this game. He's thrown 2 here tonight.
Well, here you're going to see it right up here. You get the safety down there. So you're looking at man coverage right here on the edge. The corner's in the pedal. He reads the route and just jumps on it. That's film study. That's being prepared. And that's athletically reading the receiver and taking a jump. Now, if you're Kentucky, we go back to that, but we run a double move off of that and try to strike quickly.
Man, are these guys fired up. A loss of 2 as Lorente McCray, the sophomore defensive end, comes in. There is Floyd, Sharif Floyd. Look at that physique, 6'3", 301, and he's a true freshman out of Philly.
This is called controlling the line of scrimmage, recreating a line of scrimmage, and not letting this Kentucky offense get going.
Nice catch. There's Chris Matthews. Pickup of 13 and a first down. One thing that Urban Meyer talks about is the football game is like a game of chess, and he's always looking for checkmate.
He certainly is. And checkmate doesn't have to be a big play like we just saw, but sometimes it is. It's something that gets you to the point where you're saying, hey, we can pin our ears back. We can play one-dimensional football. We've got this game in control.
On first down, Hartline wants to go up top for the big play. Matthews makes the catch, but he's out of bounds. Cody Riggs was down there in coverage, and at 6'5", Matthews is a nice target for Hartline, but that time out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were just talking about. What happens when they're squatting on routes and playing man coverage? Here you see quarterback look off the receiver. He knows it's man on the other side. Wow, that's close. He knows it's man. He throws the ball up. He's got a chance.
Did he have control?
I don't think he had control of the football. I think he had his first foot down, but I think he's still trying to adjust the football there on his chest. And by the time he gets possession of the football, he is out of bounds. I think it's a great call.
Now they're reviewing it now. And again, there has to be indisputable evidence when they look at the replay to overturn the call on the field, which was incomplete.
Right, and that ball is still moving around in his hands. Right here, he's got it, but you see it move right there. There's no possession there as the ball moves around. And I think that call stands.
Matthews, a veteran. He caught touchdowns each of the last 2 games. Joker calls him one of the toughest players he's ever coached. And he's a nice compliment to Randall Cobb in that receiving core. It'll be a pickup of 41 if they overturn this play upstairs.
Yeah, and you look at Cody Riggs right here. He's playing the man. He's not turning. He turns late to look for the ball. He's behind it, and you see him just poke his hand in there at the last second to get that football and to move it right there. You see it move, and he's out of bounds. No possession there. Great adjustment when you're beaten as a corner to continue to fight and find a way to get it done.
As we wait for this call, we remind you Kentucky hasn't beaten Florida since 1986. And the last win in Gainesville, 1979. And you got that working against you. And you got 5 minutes to go in the first half, and you're already down 21-0. prospects don't feel real good.
No, and that's one of those things we talk about, checkmate, and we'll get right back to it here in a second.
After review, it was a completed catch. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 18 for Kentucky.
Wow, I have to tell you, I completely disagree with that. And as we mentioned, he had his foot down, but I saw that ball shifting along his chest as Riggs poked the ball out. Now, it never came to the ground, but it certainly moved. And how you call that possession as you're going out of bounds and landing out of bounds, I have no idea. But it's a huge play. Hey, if I'm Kentucky, I'll take it. I'm not giving it back. I'm happy about it.
Now, they haven't had many breaks tonight. The longest play tonight for the Wildcats. 1st down and 10 at the 18 of Florida. Hartline to throw again. And that one was nearly picked off. And now penalty flags come in. Hartline trying to hit Rourke. We'll see if Jeremy Brown is flagged for pass interference.
Pass interference, number 8 on the defense. The penalty will be enforced at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
It is Brown. He had the interception return for a touchdown moments ago. Here he's flagged.
Here you see him breaking on the ball right here, and actually his feet, it's his feet they step on. They basically step on each other right there as they're going down.
From the 13-yard line, they'll hand off to Locke, and he has not been able to cut loose yet tonight. Jay Howard shooting in, no gain on the play.
Jay Howard's the landlord tonight because he's renting space over in the backfield of the Kentucky Wildcats. That guy owns the space between guard and center.
Locke, the SEC's leading rusher, 124 yards coming in. He's got 30 tonight on 10 carries. 2nd down and 9 for Kentucky. And this time it's Donald Russell. And he's lucky to get 2 yards. Talked about how good this offense has been working for Kentucky through the first 3 games. 200 yards rushing and passing in 3 straight games. That's a school record. But they have not been able to do much tonight. They get the benefit of a call to go their way to get it this deep into Florida territory.
Yeah, this Florida defense has been on point all night. And I'm talking about pressure and putting it on Kentucky.
They've converted twice on 3rd down, and they can't get it done here. Cobb, the intended receiver, and Jeremy Brown redeems himself.
That's just breaking on the football right there. And again, this Florida defense so prepared, they absolutely understand what routes and what route combinations Kentucky is running right now, and they are jumping on routes. They're basically begging Kentucky, hey, if you want to try us deep, go ahead, but we don't think you can get us.
We're going to fake. And Matthews runs it in for the touchdown, taking everybody by surprise. An 11-yard touchdown run for Chris Matthews. We were just getting ready to talk about McIntosh setting up for a 28-yard field goal, and this place goes quiet as Matthews sneaks it in.
That's the old hidden receiver on the sideline. Unaccounted for, Florida doesn't pick it up, and they go to the fake. That's perfectly executed. But Florida, not paying attention, doesn't see the hidden receiver down on the sideline. He's a part of the play, and they get an easy touchdown. Look at Matthews coming out here. He's trotting off like he's getting off the football field. And then what does he do? He just kind of hides out on the sideline. Florida doesn't pay attention. They don't see him. They don't have a number count. Here he is. Am I on? Am I on sides? Okay, great. Wonderful execution by Kentucky right there, and that has got to drive you crazy if you're Urban Meyer. How do we not find that guy?
That's the thing about Randall Cobb doing everything. He's involved in the kicking game as well as the holder. And Florida has to account for that.
Absolutely. You have to know who that is, and also you have to have your number counts right. When you see 10 guys lined up there, where is that 11th guy? What are they running? But Kentucky, once again, the special teams unit, they hide him as he's trotting off the sideline. He lines up. He asks, am I onside? Am I good? The official gives him the nod, and that's just like stealing right there. Beautifully executed fake by the Kentucky Wildcats. Puts them right back in this thing.
A couple of things going Kentucky's way on that series to make it happen. Of course, the catch by Matthews that was ruled a catch after review for 41 yards. And then that goofy play, which leads to a touchdown. 6th career touchdown catch for Matthews. Now Kentucky has a little life here late in the first half. Here's Jeff Demps from out of his end zone to the 20, lowers his head, and is pounded down at the 22-yard line.
Well, we talked about checkmate. We talked about Urban Myers and the momentum game and how the Florida Gators want to feel like we made a play, we've checkmated you, we put you in a position where right now you're basically just treading water. And to be able to respond for Kentucky, that shows a lot about their heart, that shows a lot about their football team. And we've talked to the coach of Kentucky, we've talked to Joker Phillips, said the one thing about my team, we're together.
Brantley has time, checks down to Demps. He catches it at the 19, lowers his shoulder at the 25. That's where he's pushed out for a gain of 3 yards.
And that's what you love about this guy right here at 5'8", 190 pounds. You think, hey, he's all about speed. He's going to just step out of bounds on the sideline. No, he takes an opportunity to do what? Lower his shoulder and give you a little bit of Rydell right in your mouth. I love that.
We talked about his speed. He is the reigning NC2A champ in the 60 and 100-meter dash. Last spring, he ran a sub-10 second 100 meters. On second down and 6, Brantley, to his left, avoids the tackle, more pressure, and down he goes from behind. Luke McDermott, the defensive tackle, drops him for a loss of 4. And McDermott is a great story for Kentucky. A walk-on, leads the team in sacks, also had an interception this year. Not many walk-ons starting in the SEC. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 10. For more on Jeff Demps, the speedster, we go down to Elizabeth.
Speedster, you could say that. You mentioned his national championship in the 100 meters, you guys, but he also anchored the 4x100 in the NCAA championship, tweaked his hamstring right before the finish line, but kept going because he wanted to win points for his team. He has been compared to Walter Dix, who won 2 bronze medals in Beijing. You guys talk that he's a football player first, but if he did want to pursue track, he could be an Olympic medalist.
I'm telling you, he's world class. And you know, there's a big difference between athletes that play football and football players that are athletes. And this is a guy that's a football player. When I watch him, he'll run tough between the tackles on the sideline right there. Didn't step out of bounds, lowered his shoulder, delivered a blow. He's a guy that has world-class speed, but he's a football player. And that's what I love about him, watching him play the game. He'll get you the dirty 2, the dirty 3 yards, get down there in the briar patch and get it done.
Here's Florida on 3rd and 10. Brantley to Amarius Hines. And he's got enough for the 1st down. It's a gain of 12 as Hines, the sophomore from Corsicana, Texas, gets the yards needed to move the chains. They like Hines. He played tight end the first couple of games. He was a slot receiver last week because they needed him to play there after the arrest of Chris Rainey, and can't have too many guys that are versatile.
Especially at the tight end position. It's something they're really struggling with, is that kind of hybrid tight end H-back.
On 1st down, again, Brantley downfield, this time incomplete, and it's Hines again who he's trying to connect with. Comes up empty. It'll be 2nd and 10.
that tight end position, you know, Aaron Hernandez, drafted by the New England Patriots, he's a guy that really did everything for them. And what you have to think about at the tight end position for Florida, you've got to be an inline blocker. You've got to be able to be a guy that'll go in motion, cut off the backside. Also, in that option game, you've got to be able to catch it in the middle on the shovel pass and run in between the tackles. There's so many different aspects to playing that position here at Florida.
On second down, here comes the blitz. It's a handoff, and Kentucky picked up Emmanuel Moody coming out of the backfield with the ball. No gain as Crawford makes the tackle. Well, Tuesday, see ESPNU's latest college football show, The Experts. Matt Millen, David Pollack, Tom Luganville, Charles Arbuckle, David Norrie, and Mark Schlabach. They provide unfiltered conversation about the hot topics in college football, and it is a good show. The Experts on the U Tuesday at 1 Eastern. Talk about an all-star cast.
There's no question about that. Those guys know their college football.
Third down for Florida. Trying to keep the drive alive. The pass is caught. It was a little low, but Robert Clark hauled it in for a gain of 3. And the punting unit will have to come out for Florida as the momentum that we saw through the majority of this half has slowed down a bit now for the Gators.
Yeah, and for the Gators right now, they're still basically running the crossing routes, running the underneath stuff for their quarterback. And I look at this football team right now, they've got to take some shots down the field, because what you see Kentucky doing as an adjustment is they're packing things in there, and they're basically saying, we're going to tackle you short as you continue to throw these crossing routes. We're going to play a zone underneath. You throw the crossing route, we're going to rally up and tackle you. When that starts happening to you, you've got to test some people deep.
And it's not like this Kentucky offense isn't capable. That offense racked up 544 yards against Akron last week. Now, we know that Florida is an entirely different ball game. With that said, they look good against Louisville, Western Kentucky, and Akron. Just had been a little slow starting tonight. Here's Henry to punt. Randall Cobb back to return. He's going to let this drop inside the 5. Can they keep it out of the end zone? No.
Great effort. Great effort.
So Kentucky will start at the 20. It's a 61-yard punt for Chaz Henry, the 4th-year starting kicker. He's had a solid career out of Dallas, Texas. And now Hartline will bring the offense back out with $1:11 to go here in the half. And what's the mindset here for the Wildcats?
Well, I think the mindset right now is basically, guys, we can't give them a short field. All right, so let's hand the ball off. Let's get 3 running plays, eat this clock up, get rid of the football, and basically get into the second half. Get into the locker room and make our adjustments.
Hardline. Draw play. Locke will take it ahead.
And I agree. I mean, obviously, they've got the same philosophy. Joker Phillips over there saying, we don't want to give this incredibly athletic defense another opportunity to take one to the house. So we're okay with this deficit, 21-7. We're going to get in there, and we're going to make our adjustments.
Second down and 6. Clock moving. 45 seconds to go. It's Locke again to the 30, on his feet to the 35.
Number 20.
First down for the Wildcats. It's a 12-yard run before Jelani Jenkins can make the stop. The clock also stops. Talked about Demps. Locke holds some Kentucky track and field records himself. Clock moving again, a half minute to go. On first down, Hartline. Feeling some heat, gets rid of it. Ball is dropped by Locke underneath.
Hartline talking of his offensive line right now. I took one in the chops, guys. Come on now. Give me a little bit of time. Now, listen, if you're going to take one down, if you're going to throw one right here, boy, I'm telling you what, I don't like this. I think if you're going to throw one, get one down deep right there. Throws a BB. Just an absolute BB to the running back, and Locke, it's too hot to handle right there, but there's pressure.
That was Justin Tratto, just filleted Hartline on that last play. Second down and 10, low snap. Hartline moving out of the pocket, throws, and it's a little too tall. Matthews now takes a late shot on that far sideline. No flag, incomplete pass, stopping the clock with 19 seconds to go.
See Hartline right here taking some shots. Listen, again, if I'm Kentucky, I'm sitting here thinking, if we're going to throw it down the football field, what I want to do is find my one-on-ones, and I want to take a 9 route down the sideline and see if I can get myself a pass interference or an incomplete ball. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want us to keep throwing these things underneath and have them picked off and taken back.
They try to run, nothing there. Tratto with the tackle. Tratto, who was beaming all week after last week because he sacked his former high school teammate Matt Sims in that game against Tennessee. His teammate Trey Burton, one of the stars of that first half, he had a pair of touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown.
And he's been all over the field. He's lined up at fullback. He's lined up at wide receiver. He's lined up as a tight end in the slot and as a quarterback. He's run one in for a score, and he's caught one for a score. The guy has been the multi-purpose guy. He's been unbelievable tonight for this Florida offense.
Let's go down to Elizabeth Morrow.
Coach, your team finally scores in the first quarter, but Trey Burton has been the star. How is he being so successful?
Well, we're not worried about that. He plays pretty good quarterback for us. He plays a little bit fullback. The second quarter, we had some momentum. We lost some momentum. It's really important to get that back in the third quarter.
You talked about momentum in that Kentucky touchdown at the end of the half. What happened on that play?
Oh, it was a trick play off a fake field goal, but we'll come back in the second half here.
All right, thank you.
191 yards of total offense in that first half for Florida. I think down deep, Urban's pleased with the improvement from the Gators here early tonight. 21-7 at the half. Now we join Lowell Galindo in the studio for the ESPNU halftime report.